Just this the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today I'm your host. This tournament is just straight up chaos. I'm talking about the John Cena Your Time Is Now tournament. We've got returns, we've got upsets, we've got surprises, and somehow we officially have no bracket. Where's the bracket? How do you know who's going to face who going on down the line? We really said, here's Cena's farewell tournament. That's what WWE said. They said, here's John Cena's farewell tournament. You guys go ahead and figure it out. But with even all that confusion, the thing is starting to feel special because John Cena could have just chosen somebody like Edge. He could have picked any legend, but instead, he's using his final match to spotlight the future. Today, we're going to be breaking down the tournament so far, the surprises that we didn't expect, why Edge isn't here, Adam Copeland from AEW, and then later on in the show, I'm taking the 8 men, and I'm going to cut it down to 4, then I'm going to cut it down to 2, and I'm only going to name 1. I'm going to name the one person that is going to retire John Cena, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's get organized because WWE sure didn't. If it's your first time whether you're watching live or on demand, we're fully interactive here. I want to hear from you in the chat. Fernando's already here. Stu's already here. Fernando says, happy hump day, Tristan and Jess. Jess will not be here on Wednesdays anymore. Okay, Wednesdays, Jess has other engagements on Wednesdays, so it'll just be me and you on Wednesdays, but Jess will be back on Friday, and she'll be here on Monday. And she'll be here for most PLE recap shows as well, too. So Jess is not going anywhere. Don't worry. Fernanda says that I think the tournament will be better to follow with brackets. I agree. Stu is here giving us his view on wrestling. He said, yes, give us a damn bracket. I agree. What's up, Stu? Swan-Crystal says, what's up, everybody? Happy to listen. Happy that you are here. Maria says that there should be brackets as well, too. Well, let's get into this whole thing. Here's what we know so far. The confirmed results, in case you've been living underneath a rock, Rusev beat Damian Priest, Sheamus beat Shinsuke, Jay beat Uso beat The Miz, LA Knight. Yeah! LA Knight beat, who did LA Knight beat? LA Knight beat Zack Ryder. Didn't see that one coming, right? Gunther defeated Javon Evans a couple nights ago. Solo Sikoa defeated Dolph Ziggler. Didn't see that one coming. But there's 2 matches that still have not happened in the first round. And I'm going to predict those out to you right now. So right now we got Bronson Reed and Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, and then we got Finn Balor and Penta on Raw. I think right now that Carmelo Hayes is going to be the person that defeats Bronson Reed. Remember, all the whole entire tournament is going to be taking place in the next round. Is going to be taking place after Survivor Series, right? Maybe they may have 1 or 2 matches on Survivor Series. I don't know. But Carmelo Hayes, I see Carmelo Hayes defeating Bronson Reed, and I see Finn Balor defeating Penta. That is what I see right now. Let me know if you agree or disagree. The bracket already reflects, though, a future versus veteran theme, a who's here now versus who could be somebody in the future. And the mix that WWE has done in the Cena, the Time Is Now tournament, it's intentional. It gives John Cena a variety of possible opponents, right? There's so many different ways that WWE could twist left and right when they're picking the final opponent for John Cena, and we just get so many different ways to look at it. You know, when you look at the balance, right? When you're looking, you got experience, right? You got Rusev. Rusev got a lot of bit experience, you know, but never been on top. You got Damian Priest. Damian Priest definitely has power. He's been on top, but only for a little bit. Sheamus and Nakamura, both former Royal Rumble winners. Sheamus has been on top. You know, so it goes from time. You got The Miz. I think The Miz is the person that's on the list that was in the that has been wrestling the longest. Granted, The Miz has been knocked out of the tournament, but looking at the whole entire tournament, the names that I named between Damian Priest and The Miz, Damian Priest has been in wrestling for a long time. I think Damian Priest might technically have been wrestling longer than The Miz, give or take a few years. But you also get WWE guys, you can get outsiders. I didn't think we want to get Dolph Ziggler at all. I didn't think that we were going to get, I didn't think we were going to get Zack Ryder. You know, I do think that it's silly that we got Zack Ryder, that we didn't get Matt Cardona. But the reasoning behind that, God, I'm choking here. The reasoning behind that is because Matt Cardona is his indie gimmick, right? That's what he uses on the indies. That name, he owns the name. He could do whatever he wants with the name. You know, maybe for him to license the name to the WWE, it's not really worth that much. You know, Nick Namath, Dolph Ziggler, he came with pretty generic gear. He could wear it either as Nick Namath or Dolph Ziggler. It was nice to see them back in the fold of the WWE. I think that somebody like Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, when he got released from the WWE, we knew that he was the man. I think that Matt Cardona had the same exact gusto as Cody Rhodes before Cody Rhodes even knew that he had the gusto. The only difference is that Cody Rhodes made his circle back to the WWE quicker than Matt Cardona made his circle back to the WWE. Is Matt Cardona and Zack Ryder back, or Nick Namath a part of the WWE again? I don't know. We'd have to see. But if you're looking at the whole entire TNA contract, maybe they came in underneath TNA. But now, then again, when you think about it, right, because that's some of the things I've been seeing on Threads, and you could always follow me on Threads at The Real Big Tris. One of the things that they said, I see people saying on Threads, is that, oh, well, you know, Matt Cardona came in underneath the TNA contract. Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's go with that thought process for a second. They called him Matt Cardona only 2 weeks ago on NXT television. And now this week, he's Zack Ryder. It shows that, to me, that NXT and the main roster almost don't even live in the same exact universe. To me, that might even just be, it might just be even just a little bit crazy there. But looking at the whole entire thing, right? The balance of power, the experience, the speed, you know, the guys, the WWE guys, the outsiders. That leads us to the weirdest part of this whole entire thing. There's no bracket. There's no official bracket. They're just graphics of who's going to wrestle who. We don't know who's going to wrestle who in the next round. We don't, and I guess that leaves us ambiguous so that WWE can just mix it up whichever way that they want to do it. There's no round structure, right? Granted, we knew that there were surprises, but why didn't they give us the brackets the whole entire time and just fill everything out? There's no seed, there's no layout, there's no left or right side. It's only Raw and SmackDown. You know that. Okay, Rusev and Damian Priest, they're on Raw. Sheamus and Shinsuke, they're on SmackDown. They're on SmackDown, maybe they're on Raw. I don't know. It all depends on the day of the week and how they feel. Let's give the chat a little bit of love. You guys are doing a lot of talking today on a Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Stu is dropping his view on wrestling. He says that Melo has to win. Stu also says, I want Melo to win the whole entire thing, to be honest. So that is who Stu is leaving his view on and is saying who is going to be the person that is going to win the whole entire thing.
Thank you.
If you want to hear who I think is going to win the whole entire thing, make sure you stay until the end. Because not only am I going to tell you, I'm going to stand on business and defend why that person should win. Fernando says that Carmelo will not beat Bronson and Finn Balor will not beat Penta. The only reason I see Carmelo not beating Bronson Reed is if The Miz gets involved. The Miz is the kind of hater where he's like, you know what, it ain't fun if all the homeboys can't have none. And he lost to Jey Uso, so if Jey Uso is going to go in over The Miz, the Miz is going to make sure that Bronson Reed goes over on Carmelo Hayes. That's the only way that I see out over there. The way I'm looking at it is that it has to be a heel and face. And when I broke down the last two, I picked the baby face and being Carmelo Hayes, and I picked Finn Balor being the heel. Finn Balor, I'm going to explain to you why it's Finn Balor later on. I have a whole entire thing where I'm going to justify why everybody belongs in the whole entire tournament. So thank you so much for your comment. Definitely. Swan-Christopher says, in my opinion, I feel that this Cena retirement has been a waste because no matter who goes over, it won't help their value. Solo beat Cena at Crown Jewel in 2023. Austin Theory beat Cena at WrestleMania 39, so why a tournament? I like that. So the reason why I think, if I was the reason why I was booking a tournament, I think it gives everybody the ability to showcase that they're in the running for it. Granted, at the end, you know, if you don't make it to the end, if you don't even make it to like the last two, it doesn't really matter. The only person that it's going to really matter is just the one. But the thing is too, is after the match with John Cena, what's going to matter is what happens next. So whenever people are fantasy booking, if you guys ever see me and Jess when we're fantasy booking wrestling, or if you and I ever meet in real life, and when we meet in real life and we're fantasy booking wrestling, the thing that I always will always say to you is, okay, so you book that, so then what? So the then what is going to be very important to the person who's going to be able to win this tournament. And definitely when I get to the end, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you that. But the thing with the whole thing though, with the not having the brackets, and thank you guys all so much for your comments.
Thank you.
Us fans, we have to reverse engineer the entire bracket just by watching. We got to figure out who's going who. The next round, I think we're pretty much guessing who's going to fight who. I guess the Raw people fight the Raw people, the SmackDown people fight the SmackDown people, and then when we eventually get to the end, it's going to be Raw, the Raw person versus the SmackDown person. The last person goes against John Cena. I don't know. Sounds right to me. I don't want to do the work. Just show it to me. Maybe somebody in the WWE decided that, oh, maybe it's just be easy if we just do one guy, bunch of guys from Raw, a bunch of guys from SmackDown, and everybody can just figure it out. Well, you know what, WWE, maybe you guys are giving us a little bit too much credit, right? We are not rocket scientists. We are passionate pro wrestling fans. That is what we are. But it feels like WWE is intentionally keeping this whole entire thing loose. And to me, that's just where a little bit of the frustration comes in to me. But it also gives them a little bit of flexibility. Like I said, they can put anybody anywhere. They can say, you know what, we're going to have the Raw guy face the SmackDown guy. Or if that's what they want to do, they could just flip-flop the whole entire bracket if that's what they want to do. I don't know. They could have 2 Raw guys in the end, 2 SmackDown guys in the end. But the thing is that we shouldn't have to be detectives to figure out who fights who next. Imagine if the NBA did that. Imagine if the NHL did that. You would have no clue what to do. You would have to ask Stu for him to give you his wrestling view. But that's not how sports tournaments are normally done. They normally do the work for us. Where everybody, imagine March Madness. March Madness would really feel like March Madness with all those teams if there's just no brackets. You would just have to figure it out where you're going to watch today. This doesn't feel like, though, a traditional tournament. This is definitely a farewell tournament. That's what this whole entire thing feels like. We know that the days are counting down. John Cena burnt his last day on Raw on Monday night, so he only has 2 days left. San Diego and the last match at Saturday night's main event. That's what we got. We know that the time is coming. Right now, I think that John Cena is just having fun. It's like we know that he's retiring, and we're getting to be a part of the retirement party. A lot of people feel like that the tournament is not good, or Cena's retirement hasn't been good. But I promise you this: when John Cena retires, I am going to come back, whether it be with Jess or by myself, and I'm going to break down the whole entire retirement from A to Z, because we want to see, was the tournament really a waste of time? Was it really a good retirement? Did it really make sense for John Cena to turn heel? We don't care about that right now. All we want to talk about right now is the tournament. But weird structure aside, we've already had some moments. Maria says WWE's being kind of lazy setting up the tournament. You know, maybe, thank you, Maria. Maybe it's at a fault of John Cena. John Cena has enough clout in the WWE that he can say, you know what, this is who I want. But what he probably said is, you know what, John Cena's from an old school wrestling mentality, the same exact mentality that I come from, is that you want to leave the business better than when you found it. Me being a pro wrestler and working a real 9-to-5 job, Every time I was a manager at somebody's Fortune 500 company, manager at Walmart, wherever I was, I always said, you know what? I want to leave my department or the store better than when I found it. And once I felt like I left it better than when I found it, I felt that I can leave at that point. So I think that WWE, John Cena left it up to the WWE so the WWE could say, you know what? Who are the guys that everybody really wants? Who's the guy or guys who haven't gotten a solid chance? This is the opportunity to give them that chance. Maybe that's the way that WWE is looking at it. Lazy? I don't know. I mean, I don't really think, Maria, they picked names out of a hat. Or at least I hope they didn't. I hope there's some kind of rhyme or reason as to why everybody is inside of this tournament. For me, I want it to be just a bunch of guys who haven't gotten the opportunity yet, right? But you got guys like Damian Priest, former champion. Shinsuke Nakamura, former champion. I'm talking about world champion, heavyweight champion. Jey Uso, The Miz, former champion. Dolph Ziggler, Gunther, former champion. Finn Balor, even if it was for a day, he was still a champion. So at this point, I'm looking at the whole entire thing and I'm like, so when do the people that haven't gotten an opportunity or the people that are hungry, when do they get their chance? John Cena came in to an open match challenge and had a match with Kurt Angle. So how does any of that tie into this whole entire tournament if the time is now? I guess it's going to be Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event looks like it's going to be a whole entire showcase to where John Cena is booking all the matches, where he's putting all of the NXT people on national television to give you an opportunity to see them. Whether that's WWE's doing or not, it brings emotional investment because there are some of us sitting in the world who don't regularly keep up with NXT. I'm not going to lie, I am 2 weeks behind, but I have a lot of time now, and you might be seeing my face a lot more often here on the Tristan Law Show. Going to the chat, Maria says that the retirement was trash. Swan-Christopher says, yes, Maria, you're right. This retirement is bad booking. We can hold Lazy Levesque accountable for that. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we can. Or maybe, it's one of those things where you ask somebody what they want to do and they have no clue what they want to do. So now you're just going to have to throw your hands up and say, you know what, fine. We'll just figure it out. Looking at some of the surprises so far. Oh, Maria, trust me, I didn't miss it. I'm going to go ahead and play some, after this, I'm going to play some Call of Duty 7, and then I'm going to put on to the iPad, I'm going to put on NXT. Actually, no, I'm going to go to the UK, and I'm going to watch NXT from last week and last night, because I did hear last night was good. I didn't miss it. I actually didn't watch it yet. I got a lot of time on my hands now, Maria. You guys are going to be seeing me for a lot, but seeing me a lot more. But looking at some talking points, right? Some talking points about some of the surprises that we've gotten so far. Like Rusev. Rusev returned, and he's been kind of floating around like, we don't really know what's happening with Rusev. But Rusev, he returned, and in April, I think it was the night after WrestleMania, he returned, and now he's getting this opportunity in the tournament, right? He hasn't really done anything in his wrestling career that puts him at the top to where you're like, yeah, he's the man, right? Zack Ryder showed up, but he lost to LA Knight. Dolph Ziggler returned, only to be fed to Solo Sikoa. Javon Evans, great match. I also want to say it was a great match between Dolph Ziggler and Solo Sikoa. But Javon Evans stepping into the ring is a massive spotlight versus Gunther. I don't care what anybody says about Gunther. Gunther is that guy. He is that guy. In the realm of the WWE, looking at it with your kayfabe glasses on, Gunther is that guy. It's good for somebody like Javon Evans to get in the ring with Gunther. When I was wrestling, being a bigger guy, taller guy, sometimes, not only horizontal but vertical, or vertical but horizontal. I liked wrestling guys that were smaller than me because I was a great base. I could bump for them real nice. They could jump high. I can catch them. I could throw them. I could do everything. That's when you look at the whole thing to where people say styles make the fight. And I think that in Javon Evans being in the ring with Gunther, that boy right there, he good. He good. We got LA Knight. We got LA Knight. LA Knight took on Zack Ryder. Didn't see Zack Ryder coming at all. I saw maybe somebody like Edge, but I think I've said it before to Jess, or I said it here on the show, I don't see Edge. I'm going to explain to you in a little bit why I didn't see Edge at all. So make sure you hang out for that. I have a solid reason why I didn't see Edge. Sometimes we got to realize, pro wrestling fans, listen to me. Sometimes we got to realize what we want, we can't get. And there's legit reasons for that. I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. But these surprises, though, they definitely set the tone for the farewell era of John Cena. John Cena foreshadowed Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. He said hi to them on national television. He did that. But we were like, oh my God, that's so fun. He called out people because we're still inside the same exact thought process that WWE doesn't talk about things that happen outside the WWE. But they have unlocked the forbidden door and they've been working with people that are not WWE, hence TNA. They even went ahead and opened up their wallet and bought AAA. WWE is doing some things, man. The WWE that we expected, we don't even live in it anymore. It's the next generation of wrestling fans, our kids, the young kids now, that are going to come back into watching pro wrestling and go, wait, all these companies existed and never worked with each other? No, they all built a house and built a big fence around it and didn't concern themselves with anything that was happening outside of the yard. But speaking of surprises, let's talk about who didn't show up. I was talking about Edge, right? Adam Copeland from AEW. I'm going to tell you guys why I think he didn't show up. Maria says that Gunther will be the last man standing. He's that guy. I don't see why not. Maria says it's not complicated why we didn't see Edge. He's under contract with AEW for 1 more year. You know, we're getting ready to get into that. I think it's a part of it. It's a part of it, and I'll explain why. Swan-Christopher says that, yeah, Tristan, Gunther is that guy, but he doesn't need to be in this tournament because he's the best heel in the WWE right now. Hold on to that. He's so heelish, he ticked me off by switching his theme music. I loved the other theme music. I hated this theme music. But one of the things that I used to tell people, when I used to go to the wrestling show, when you go to the indie show, it's not like WWE where they have all your music and stuff like that. They might ask you, hey, what's your music? I go, I don't have any. And I go, don't play any for me either. The reason why is that music is tied to emotion. You could think of a song. I give you 2 seconds. Think about your most favorite song in the world right now. When you think about that favorite song, the song that gets your feet tapping and everything like that, one of the songs that I could think of is Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Now, the same way I'm going to take this song and attach it to a moment is the same way that you're going to take that song and attach it to a moment. What I'm talking about is Oh Shucks. It's an Irish karaoke bar in Orlando, Florida, right there on, International Drive. And me and my friend Chris, we used to always sing that song as a duet and dance around. This was, maybe 15, 16 years ago, 17 years ago, that we used to go to Oh Shucks and sing karaoke. I don't live in Florida anymore. I think of Usher. You remind me of a girl. That song right there. When I think about that song, I tie that to the summer of 2001. Right? That was from Usher. Well, no, that was Usher's second album, but from Usher's first album, listening to Usher and all that other stuff, like, come on. When Gunther's song played, if you hear the dun dun dun, people would start cheering. They don't want people to start cheering. They want people to look at Gunther as that nasty heel like he is. So what WWE did was they robbed us of his music. Edge not being included, though, in this tournament, it's really smart. Because if Edge was in the tournament versus John Cena, it would overshadow the whole entire retirement. Right? We wouldn't be talking about Cena's last moment. We'd be talking about Cena versus Edge. It would erase the theme. The theme of the tournament is the time is now. Right? Who is the next up and comer? That is what the tournament is about. So by Edge being in there, Adam Copeland from AEW, aside from the fact that he's on the contract with AEW, what would it do to the theme? It would throw the whole entire theme out. Edge, Adam Copeland, has already had his moment. He's a multi-time world champion in the WWE. So he has zero business being in there. He's been a multi-time champion more times than Damian Priest, Sheamus, obviously Jey Uso, The Miz, and the list goes on and on. He's a multi-time world champion. There's no need for Edge to be in there. What we expected, I'm not going to say just fans, because I'm a fan first, right? I'm a fan before everything else. I'm a fan before I'm a semi-retired pro wrestler. Why? Because in order for me to become a pro wrestler, I had to be a fan first. Nobody plucked me out of any school or any athletic competitions. I took my money and went and I gave it to Bubba and Devon and Nunzio, Little Guido, all at separate times, plus other people to go learn how to wrestle. But us fans, we expected the obvious nostalgia matchup. But if you ask me, I think John Cena didn't want that. John Cena wanted to put over. He wanted to make a bigger star somebody in the next generation. He wanted to put over somebody who isn't getting their time. When you looked at the list, Shinsuke didn't get his time. The Miz, haven't really seen anything great from The Miz lately. Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler, we know that they should never have gotten released. Javon Evans, up and coming. Carmelo Hayes, he is him. Bronson Reed, he's trying to bring himself up. Penta, brand new. Finn Balor, trying to put somebody over in the next generation. Cena booked this whole entire thing, if he booked it, or let's say WWE, whatever. This whole entire tournament, it's booked like a passing of the torch. It's not a reunion. Edge, Adam Copeland does not fit. I'm sorry if I broke your hearts. I'm sorry if I'm telling you something that you don't want to hear, but Edge does not fit. However, if we were to have gotten Edge, aka Adam Copeland, it would have had to have been before the tournament match. You remember when John Cena was running around and wrestling AJ Styles and everybody else like that? Now he's wrestling Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series. It would have had to be before all that. Just like Fernando said, just like Maria said, just like we all know. Just like we all know. Adam Copeland, Edge, Cope, the Adam, AC, I don't know, whatever you want to call him, but he's still under contract to AEW. Did you guys watch that interview with Ariel Helwani and Tony Khan? I watched it right before I came here. And one of the things that Tony Khan pretty much said when he was asked about Edge going over to retire with John Cena, to participate in the John Cena retirement, the way that Tony Khan answered it, I don't know if it's true or not, but the way that Tony Khan answered the question, here's what I took from it. Tony pretty much said that WWE didn't ask. Tony Khan said that WWE did not ask. But Tony Khan is a businessman. And if asked, I'm sure that Tony Khan would have figured out some way for it to work. If anything, what we all need to understand, that in order for AEW to send over Edge, Adam Copeland, or any of their stars over to WWE TV, any of their contracted talents to WWE TV, it has to be beneficial to AEW. So my question to you guys right now in the chat, whether you're watching live or on demand, if Edge had went over to the WWE in any way whatsoever to have a match with John Cena, how would it have been beneficial to AEW? But listen, it has to be beneficial to the WWE as well. So how? Stu says that Edge and Cena said goodbye to each other in matches a couple months ago anyway. You're right. You're right. It's like they were in two jail cells, right? It's like I said, these These wrestling companies, they build a house and they build a high fence over it. And what happened was they snuck out messages to each other. I agree. I don't dispute that at all. I think that you're 100% right, Stu. That's Stu? Yeah. Stu, I think you're 100% right. But let me tell you where I see AEW making the deal. Because now, don't get it wrong. These people from WWE, these people from AEW, I guarantee you this. Don't let anybody bamboozle, flim flam, or okie dokie. A small channel like this one, because this channel is considered a small channel because it's under 1,000 subscribers and not monetized yet, I'm sure somebody from the WWE has watched an episode or two of this channel, the Tristan Law Show. I'm sure there's a person or two lurking right now in watching who probably works for the WWE or AEW or even Ring of Honor. There's a lot of people watching right now, and the only people that are reacting right now is Stu, Fernando, Maria, and Chris-Swan. Stu, Fernando, Maria, Swan-Christopher. Those are the 4 people that are here. There are other people that are watching that are not interacting. So who are they? That's not the point. The point that I'm trying to make is that WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, MLW, all of them watch what happens on the internet. And I'm sure somebody went to Triple H or to Nick Khan in WWE and said, hey, is there some kind of way that we can get Edge involved, Adam Copeland involved, to where it's beneficial to WWE and AEW? Yeah, he's on the contract, but what if he doesn't show up in a match? It doesn't have to be a match, right? Because you know what? At this point, I don't think we need the match anymore. So how can it be? Not in ring. Maybe a video. Maybe in John Cena's last farewell. Maybe when they're hoisting John Cena up on the shoulder and saying, job well done, all you hear is, you think you know me? And then Edge comes out and gives John Cena the hug and the high five. Maybe they let Edge come in, maybe, just maybe, but I don't see this happening. I see, with John Cena being the current Intercontinental Championship now, in my opinion, I think it's real easy for them to have Dominic Mysterio just beat John Cena at Survivor Series and take the belt back. But what if the person in the Time Is Now tournament gets the opportunity to get the Intercontinental Championship? Not only is this match for the person to retire John Cena, but if you win, you get the Intercontinental Championship. So what if Dom Mysterio tries to cheat with the Judgment Day? You guys remember who started the Judgment Day? It was Edge, it was Damian Priest, and it was Rhea Ripley. They kicked Edge out and then brought in other people. And we have the Judgment Day of what we have it as today. So what if Dominic Mysterio is trying to cheat, but Edge jumps the guardrail, comes in for the quick spear on Dominic Mysterio, Cena goes for the cover, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, you got your moment with Edge and John Cena in the ring, and John Cena's still your Intercontinental Champion. Tell me what you guys think about that. Now, Edge didn't really do much. How was it beneficial to AEW? They had one of their contracted talent appear on WWE television. Edge did not get beat by a WWE guy, and a WWE guy didn't get beat by an AEW guy. All Dominic Mysterio took was a spear, and John Cena was the one that pinned him and beat him. What do you guys think? Maria, Stu, Fernando, Swan-Christopher, the other people lurking in the background who we don't know who you are yet, and it's okay because some people just want to watch. That's fine. But what do you think of that story? I'm going to be looking for it. But thinking about all of this, that brings us to the heart of this whole entire thing. John Cena's real plan. John Cena's refusing to pick his opponent. That's ultimate humility. He wants somebody new, elevated. Somebody who's not getting their time, elevated. John Cena is turning his final match into a platform. It's not even a victory lap. When you look at other legends who chose nostalgia matches. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24. Ric Flair didn't choose a new star. He chose a man who he trusted to give him a classic emotional ending. This is the ultimate nostalgia retirement match. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26. HBK wanted the streak match because the story was iconic. That match wasn't about the future. It was about finishing the greatest rivalry of his career. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles, the Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36, the end of night one. The Undertaker handpicked AJ Styles because he respected him, because he trusted him, and knew that AJ Styles could carry through the cinematic style match. Again, this whole entire thing, it was about storytelling. It's not about elevating a new star. The most recent retirement match that we can remember, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania 35. While this looks like Angle trying to elevate a younger star, the truth is, from what I understand, Kurt Angle wanted John Cena. John Cena wanted Kurt Angle. But WWE forced Corbin for their storyline reasons. This wasn't a Cena style give the rub to the next generation moment. It was a booking decision. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38. Austin came back for one night and one night only. He didn't want a young star. He wanted Kevin Owens, a safe worker who idolized him. You see, for me, I've wrestled Jimmy Snuka, Tito Santana, Nikolai Volkov. I've wrestled Natty's father, Jim Neidhart. I've wrestled Marty Jannetty. I've wrestled a lot of people that were stars of yesterday. Nunzio, Tommy Dreamer. The thing is that they don't want to get hurt. And what they want is they want to be protected. Rightfully so. So for what I used to hate being thrown in the ring with those older guys, because I'm like, no, they can't really do much. I want to wrestle the younger guys, or the guys that have, more experience around my level that could do all the flippy and all the other stuff. It was an honor to get ready to wrestle one of those legends, one of those names. Why? Because I was trusted by the promoter not to hurt them. Stu says, Tony definitely would have let this happen. Look at Y2J and Broken Skulls. You're right. It was beneficial. It was definitely beneficial to AEW at the time because AEW was still a brand new company, and that is great publicity. Yeah, that's very good. Very, very good.
Thank you.
Or even Bryan Danielson in the video package for I forgot who it was. Look, I forgot who it was too. But anything that AEW is looking to do, it has to benefit them as well. When AEW worked with TNA, it only benefited AEW. It didn't benefit TNA at all. In order for TNA in this day and age to work with the WWE, they had to have gone through the door of working with AEW. Because sometimes when you're thirsty, that's the word I'm going to use. Sometimes when you're thirsty, you make kind of crazy decisions, right? And TNA was kind of thirsty. Now they fostered a relationship with WWE that's so beneficial to them that AEW is building their comeback on the back of WWE and NXT. You see, the thing with Cena always built the future, right? He always put over younger stars, and he's doing it one last time. Edge, people say that John Cena buried people all the time. No, he didn't. Not all the time. There's a lot of people that he made stars. Edge, Cena was the perfect dance partner for Edge when Edge first became a main eventer. Their feud made Edge feel like a real world champion. It wasn't some guy they just gave the belt to. John Cena and Edge needed each other. They needed each other. Edge needed John Cena more because John Cena was hustle, loyalty, respect, and all goody two-shoes, and Edge was rated R. CM Punk. The 2011 feud with Cena, it turned Punk from a cult favorite to a top guy. Money in the Bank 2011 doesn't hit the same without John Cena's credibility. It could have been against anybody, but John Cena helped make CM Punk the man in the WWE. Kevin Owens pinned John Cena clean in his main roster match debut. That match instantly legitimized him as a top-tier guy. John Cena could just say, you know what? Nope, that's not going to work for me, brother. I'm going to pin Kevin Owens. AJ Styles, their 2016, 2017 feud, it elevated AJ Styles from that TNA guy to a WWE guy. It gave him that main event cornerstone. AJ Styles wouldn't have been able to have the match with The Undertaker if he didn't go through beating up John Cena. John Cena made AJ Styles look like an equal, and then he put him over. Understand this. John Cena, he's the kingmaker. John Cena, he's the gatekeeper of greatness. John Cena, he is the real final boss. And he's doing it one last time in the form of a tournament. This isn't a showcase event disguised as a tournament. So what actually represents the future and who feels like WWE's next era? The chat's going. Maria says that Edge was already a star before Cena. Right. But he wasn't a top star. Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank on top of John Cena. And that's how he got his first championship. It might have been at New Year's Revolution. Edge was already a name because of TLC 1, TLC 2, the Triangle Ladder match. Edge was already a name coming off of the back of the Attitude Era. But Edge coming up through this whole entire thing, by him getting the rub off of John Cena, it made him the man. It made him credible. Swan-Christopher said, we need a balance of more storytelling and more matches. We don't need every match going 10 or 20 minutes. A rivalry can be built in a 5 to 8 minute match if booked correctly. That's what will build more stars. You're right. You're right. If we get more time to see the wrestlers, because on the way that WWE works these days is that they're doing title switches on regular TV. Tony Khan says that they don't do title switches on regular TV. They save that for their pay-per-view. They want you to pay $49 or whatever the price may be to go ahead and watch the title switch. Stu says, I don't know, Maria. Edge was on the rise. He wasn't a star till he cashed it on Cena. That's exactly what I said. John Cena was already a made man when Edge was crawling up the ladder. Now, Maria, I'm not disputing that Edge was already in the WWE, made his name for himself. He was doing the flash photography thing. He was doing the thing with Kurt Angle. He worked his way up, changed his look, everything, and became that guy. He became that guy. He needed John Cena in order to be who he was today. Let's take a look at who advanced, right? That's WWE telegraphing the next 3 to 5 years. A blend of future main eventers and veteran workhorses. Solo Sikoa, oh my God, he's finally being positioned as a killer again. We just have to keep hoping that we just keep getting that same Solo Sikoa that we saw on SmackDown the other night. Gunther, he's being restored to dominance. LA Knight, staying relevant again without a title.
Yeah!
LA Knight is going to get his time. We are impatiently waiting for him to get his time. Finn Balor's on the rise again. How this bracket helps create, it helps define creative direction post Cena. You have so many ways that you can go. I got some names that I'm going to be naming out just a little bit that were in that tournament. I'm going to be telling you how they can benefit so much from being in the ring with Cena. But all right, I've circled around this long enough. We're going to break down the 8 men. We're going to break down 8 men one by one, and I'm going to set the case for these men. It's going to be either all, for, and against, just a little bit. Let's take a look at Rusev, right? Rusev, his return, it was a big return, right? To see him come back to WWE. To me, it was a shock. So happy that he was there, right? He has that emotional momentum coming back to the WWE. Rusev is a WWE guy, right? You never seen him anywhere else than he went to AEW, but you know what? Eventually he came back home. WWE has done more with Rusev in 7 months than AEW did in 5 years.
Yeah!
It may be too early for him, though, to main event a farewell match. Sheamus, story rich, respected veteran, has history with John Cena from 2009 to 2010, and Sheamus even took the championship off of John Cena. Looking at Sheamus might be too much of a veteran for John Cena's vision. Let's take a look at Jey Uso, Mr. Run It Back himself. I hate that so much. I can hear Jess right now. There's no Jey Uso heat. No, we heat and we hate under yeet. Jey Uso, though, regardless of what I feel, he's over with the crowd. He's popular. He's the top merch seller. Everybody loves to go out there and do the whole sing-along with them. That's great for them. But Jey Uso, he was 51 days as heavyweight champion. Behind CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Jey is the champion with the third shortest reign of the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso's got a chip on his shoulder. But he might not be the showcase guy that John Cena wants. Let's take a look at this person. LA Knight.
Yeah!
Massive star power. Huge fan favorite. We here at the Trips to Law Show, we love LA Knight. This whole entire thing would be massive for him. But we're waiting for them to press the button impatiently. We want John Cena's retirement match to be great, and we want LA Knight to be great as well too. What if the ultimate thing is for John Cena to beat his opponent? Do we really want LA Knight taking such a big loss to John Cena? That's a big loss. That's a huge black eye on your career. Solo Sikoa, dominant win over Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, nicknameth, whatever we're calling him today on Wednesday, he made Solo Sikoa look like a monster. But Solo Sikoa doesn't need a tournament to get heat. Gunther? Golly. Gunther's probably the most Cena match ready competitor, and it's almost way too damn predictable if you ask me. Carmelo Hayes, he's explosive, he's flashy, and he's made for the big stage. Carmelo Hayes' character, it's made for the WWE. If he beats Bronson Reed, it would give him a mini momentum rehab. But the question is, will he shake The Miz by then? The Miz right now is a big-time hater. WWE, maybe they haven't fully committed to Carmelo Hayes yet. So winning this entire thing probably feels unlikely this year. If it's next year, if John Cena wants to come back and retire again next year, I could see Carmelo Hayes winning. But I don't see John Cena retiring again next year, because if he does, everything that we've been going through now is for nothing. Finn Balor. Finn Balor is a trusted performer. He can deliver a classic. He was the WWE Universal Champion, the first one, the inaugural one, for one day. For one day. He was hurt, and he's never been back on top. You know when Finn Balor was the inaugural WWE Universal Champion? That was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Judgment Day involvement might overshadow John Cena's farewell. But let's just say it is the Judgment Day, and it is Finn Balor in the end. Remember that story that I told you of Dominic Mysterio and Edge, where the Judgment Day gets involved, and now Edge jumps the guardrail and gives out spears and helps John Cena win? That could be a possibility. That could always be a possibility, because remember, like I said earlier, the Judgment Day was started with Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Edge. We were getting like the new Brood vibes. But what is the Judgment Day now? I don't know. A bunch of people that run around in purple? I don't know. Now that we've seen the full field, what we're going to do, we're going to cut this thing in half. What I'm going to do is the likely Final Four that I see: Gunther, Finn Balor, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. I'm going to tell you why these four, why they rise above the others. Gunther's that guy. Already said it already. Out of everybody on that list, I think that, remember, I always talk about things feeling dangerous, right? We know that John Cena is a Super Cena, whatever you call him. We know that Gunther feels dangerous. Finn Balor, he's just like LA Knight. They're hungry. Finn Balor's had his chance. LA Knight, he's looking for his chance. Carmelo Hayes, I think that Carmelo Hayes, if he wins and goes through the tournament and the tournament goes through the way that I say it's going to go through, he's at the same exact level as John Cena when John Cena was trying to build a name for himself. Wasn't a champion, didn't really do anything great. He was looking to make a name for himself. And Carmelo Hayes could definitely make a name for himself off the back of John Cena. You see, these four can definitely headline Saturday Night's main event. Why? Because Carmelo Hayes, he fresh out of NXT, right? All these guys can main event Saturday Night's main event because there's no other match at Saturday Night's main event that can feel as big as any of these matches. Because from what I understand, it's all supposed to be NXT guys. They may sprinkle a few WWE guys in there, but it's all supposed to be NXT talent. I think that Cena could definitely have chemistry with Gunther because Gunther's a beat-em-up type guy. Gunther's going to be the person that makes John Cena have to fight up from above. But John Cena just beat Finn Balor, didn't? Yeah, John Cena just beat Finn Balor on Raw. So maybe Finn Balor's not the guy. LA Knight, even though LA Knight's a babyface, LA Knight has a lot to prove. He is willing to go in there and give it all for John Cena. LA Knight could definitely be the next person that leads the generation. And Carmelo Hayes, we talked about him too much. All right, now we got the four. We're going to cut it down again. We're going to cut it down to two. Swan-Christopher says, it's best if Solo wins this because the fans give this guy so much heat. If he goes over in DC, you already know it's going to be a riot. And when you have a hated superstar like that, he can sell out.
Thank you.
I feel that if it's Solo, though, it could feel a little bit too flat for me. It could feel a little flat. Oh, great. Solo Sikoa won. Then what? Then what? Let me break down the final two. And I'm gonna go on to the end and give you the final one and then give you the then what. The final two, I could see it. It's Gunther. It's Gunther, period. It's Gunther versus LA Knight or Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes. That's just the way that I see it happening. Gunther is, like I said, he's a beat-em-up guy, right? Somebody like Carmelo Hayes is going to have to work for that. LA Knight is willing to work for it, and Gunther's going to have to watch out for the BFE, the blunt force, the BFT. He's going to have to watch out for the BFT. I think that Gunther versus LA Knight could definitely feel like a main event style match. Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes could definitely feel like a match where Carmelo is just a lower level guy trying to work his way up. But here's my issue. If he hasn't shaken the Miz, he can't get that far. It's not happening. It's not Carmelo Hayes. It can't be. Carmelo Hayes needs to do something to the Miz if he wants to go and see John Cena and get his time now. If John Cena beats Dominic Mysterio at SummerSlam, the Intercontinental SummerSlam, at Survivor Series, the Intercontinental Championship is going to be on the line. Gunther is a 666-day Intercontinental Champion, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in modern day history. Could be him. LA Knight's a United States Champion, just a mid-card guy. Carmelo Hayes, just fighting for his way, trying to shake the Miz, walking around telling everybody that he is him. But when does him get his time? I don't think it's yet. His time is not now. I think, though, that even though these people would make the final two, let's say it's Gunther or LA Knight, I don't think that we really want to see Gunther get beat again. We are tired of seeing Gunther get beat. LA Knight. We don't want to see LA Knight get beat again. We are tired of seeing LA Knight get beat. Carmelo Hayes could take that ass whipping and keep it pushing and look good for Gunther. I could see if Gunther loses to Carmelo Hayes, I 100% see it being Carmelo Hayes just took advantage of the opportunity. LA Knight worked for it. Let me give you the one. This is the moment that we're all going to be waiting for, that we're all going to be watching. If you haven't figured out who my one is yet, I'm going to give you my one. We started with 8 because they've already determined the first 16 who's going to be in it. Right? They've given us 6. I gave the last 2. I gave you 4. Now I'm going to give you 1. Stu says, I got to check, but I think that Gunther faces the winner of Melo and Bronson. The final should absolutely be Melo versus Gunther, and Melo wins. Swan-Christopher says, I see Carmelo versus Gunther. I really want Carmelo. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. I hope he wins, but here comes the then what for Solo. He can actually be booked on a hot streak. People pay money to see him lose because of the hate. True. Stu says, kind of feels like LA Knight is above the IC title, but if they don't give him the world title, then the IC is the next best thing. You know what? I would agree with that it feels like LA Knight's above the title, but John Cena's holding the title. And we know that John Cena, even though he never held that championship, they gave him that championship just to even him out all the way around. He didn't need that. He didn't need to be a one-time Intercontinental Champion. He's a 17-time world champion. Here's my one. It's Gunther. Gunther's that guy. Gunther is going to be able to walk around and says that not only did he beat and retire Goldberg, but he did the same to John Cena. He is going to be that guy. We're going to have to wait and see how this works, but this is going to elevate Gunther into real and true main event status. This is John Cena's retirement moment. And if I was Goldberg, and Gunther won, I would be really upset because, yeah, Gunther beat Goldberg. But it's like the moment that we're going to get a Saturday night's main event after John Cena is going to overshadow Goldberg's retirement. Nobody's going to ever care about Goldberg's retirement, and Gunther is going to be that guy. Gunther is who it is. Gunther is who I believe. I believe that will be the final opponent of John Cena and the man who will close the book on one of the greatest careers of all time. And that's right where I see this whole entire path. 8 men, down to 1. The one who should stand across from John Cena's final match. The tournament, it's messy, it's confusing, and it's half explained. But what it represents is huge. WWE is saying the future starts now. And John Cena is handing the keys to whoever could step up. I'm sure that we're going to revisit this whole entire thing again before John Cena retires. But what I want to say is, I'm going to thank all you guys for watching live. I'll be back on Friday with Jess, and we're going to be looking at intergender wrestling. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Tristan Law Show. Thank you for making this little idea of what I do fun. Send me an email, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. Give me a call, 973-826-0101. I want to hear from you. Don't make this your little dirty secret. Like, share, and subscribe to this episode if you like it. And hit the like button as well, too. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride.